Today we're going to be talking about some very big news and updates regarding the Copenhagen Major and the Copenhagen stickers and the Copenhagen stickers and capsules that are being sold in the markets and bots and everything like that. There's been some very, very big updates and a recent very, very big interview with the Complexity general manager that we are going to be talking about in this video today as well, that are giving us some inside details, a peel back of the curtain, some behind the scenes ideas of kind of what went on with Paris and how Copenhagen is looking very, very different in maybe some good and bad ways depending on who you ask. Some very, very big stuff that we're going to be going over in this video today. Talking about Copenhagen once again. Just want to start off with some kind of funny, random, weird, whatever kind of YouTube news and updates and stuff. One of the comments I got on the last Copenhagen video was a guy who was very, very upset, and some people who upvoted this as well, so it seems like this is an issue with some other people, so I wanted to at least go over this. This guy said, "I was subbed and watched almost all your videos up till now, but cannot handle the clickbait. The 25% off topped it. Best of luck to you." Apparently telling me that he's unsubscribing, never watching one of my videos again, whatever. He is talking about in the last Copenhagen video I had, it was called, like prepare for the Copenhagen sale. In the thumbnail, it had a 25% off sale on top of the capsule, and apparently that made him mad. Apparently he says the implication was that the Copenhagen sale isn't going to be 75% off, it's going to be 25% off. And truly, the reason why I said 25% off and not 75% off was not some giga brain like clickbait, oh, I'm baiting you guys, oh, hey, they're getting rid of the 75% sticker sale, now it's only 25%. Like, literally, I just had a brain fart, and obviously after I made the video and was going to make the thumbnail, forgot that the sticker sales aren't 75%. I thought they were 25% for whatever reason. I was just trying to Google like a sales sticker and be able to put it in the thumbnail. Didn't really care about it, wasn't really worried about it. And honestly, if they were changing the sticker sale from 75% to 25%, I would be highlighting that and clickbaiting that and sensationalizing that way even more. Like, that wouldn't be just something I swept under the rug. That wouldn't be something I didn't try and put in the title and didn't try and make very, very clear in the thumbnail and in the video and everything like that. So I thought this was very, very weird and very, very strange. People getting kind of mad and upset and butthurt about the weirdest stuff. I was very, very surprised by how many upvotes this had. It really made almost no sense to me. Yeah, I was like obviously making fun of it and upset, calling it a mouth breather ass comment. How does that have upvotes? Obviously I have clickbaited somewhat before, sensationalized stuff or whatever. That's part of YouTube. That's part of the game. I think for the most part, my videos are mostly, you see what you get. I don't think anything's ever been like outright lies or outright kind of misconstrued or anything like that. I don't know. I try to do my best. Obviously, it's a YouTube game. You need to get views. You need to get people to click on your stuff. But I don't think I've ever done that terribly. So for people to kind of be jumping on my throat, I thought was very, very weird and random. Again, it wasn't anything malicious. And at the end of the day, having 75% off in the thumbnail would be way, way, way better and way, way more clickable than 25%. Like, if I wanted to make the best thumbnail possible, I literally would have put 75% in it. It was honestly a mistake on my part that probably got me less views and less clicks. The video didn't perform that well in terms of even getting clicked on. So I really was very confused, had no idea what this guy was talking about. Thought it was weird and strange. I don't know. If that makes you unsub, if that makes you never watch my stuff again, I guess that's fine. Good riddance. Go on with your life, whatever. I don't really care that much. I thought it's strange. People always have something to say. Again, I don't really think you should read into criticism and stuff like this too much. Yes, you need to hear what people are saying, but at the end of the day, it's my YouTube channel. I'm going to do my thing. If people want to watch, great. If they don't want to watch, that's fine too. But just thought it was kind of weird, strange, funny. Wanted to at least acknowledge that going into this video. But whatever. Today, we actually have some big, big, big news to talk about that is not clickbait. This is, I think, very, very interesting and could really impact how Copenhagen Investments goes. And honestly, it's piqued my interest and made me way more potentially interested in some Copenhagen investments and gets me way more curious about how Copenhagen is going to go down now, because as we know, the past couple sticker sales and majors and stuff had been very, very profitable. You look at Stockholm, people made money. You look at Antwerp, people who were investing in stuff made money. Even something like Rio, which was not the best looking sticker set ever, people were able to make some money off it. If you invested it, yeah, you made out decently well at certain times. You didn't make a ton of money, you didn't get rich or anything like that, but at least was a profitable investment overall. But after Paris has obviously been very slow. Paris has not been a winner for people. People have been worried, whatever. Well, we get this headline from the Complexity General Manager. This is on dust2.us on sticker sales. Copenhagen has been a return to the norm. And again, in the norm that we've seen over the past couple of majors is profit, has been people making money. Obviously, what I assume he's hinting at here, and we're going to dive into the article in a second, is this means that sticker sales and capsule sales are trending down, are looking lower. Paris was insane in terms of the money teams made, the money players made, and the amount of capsules and stickers that we sold. And obviously, that is bad for investing. You don't want something that is absolutely flooded out there because prices were high. Prices were inflated because people were so excited and people were buying so much. But if it just becomes such a common item and just so easy to find and get your hands on, obviously it's not going to be great for prices in the long term, especially if it starts out overpriced in the first place. So what we are seeing for Copenhagen, what I have talked about, is at the top end, prices still seem pretty high. You know, the Koi Hollow, the Cloud9 Hollow, the Lin Vision Hollow, those prices are still up there. But for many other stickers, we are seeing similar or lower prices than Paris, which is obviously, I think, a good sign in terms of overall long-term investment. You want these prices to be as low as possible, especially before the sales even started. And once the sale starts, if prices go down even lower, that's going to be great for Copenhagen. But yes, if sales and quantities and stuff and inventories out there are much less, that leaves a pretty big opportunity as well. So let's see what's being talked about in this article. Complexity GM on sticker sales. Copenhagen has been a return to the norm. Do not expect bombshell sticker sales for teams that attended the Copenhagen Major, as Complexity GM Graham Messioso Pitt has cautioned. The last major has been a return to the norm after incredible figures reported from the 2023 Blast TV Paris Major. HLTV and Dust2 Brazil reported that there was a staggering $100 million being distributed to teams and players from the Paris Major sticker sales, with some teams earning as much as $4.25 million. Very crazy. And players themselves earning up to $250K due to the extended sales. Complexity and Liquid were in the highly lucrative Contenders stage capsule, which gave teams the most money. The Legends capsule earned about $3.5 million per team and $200,000 per player, and the Challenger saw $2.6 million per team and $200,000 per player. Nickelback said players would be earning anywhere from $200K to $250K per player, which would align with what players had earned at the Paris Major, which again was the most lucrative event for stickers in recent history. Now, Messioso took to Reddit in response to the article to provide some context from his perspective. So much to talk around stickers is so misleading it hurts to read. And again, here is that Reddit thread. Nickelback says players receive 200 to 250K per person from major stickers. EScore News, I don't know, or eScore News, I don't know what this was about. I guess he was just kind of saying overall that's how much players get, and then kind of this GM saying, hey, no, that was just like a one-time thing. Amcall Esports founder shared an approximate amount of money players get for the stickers, quoting his player Nickelback. He also thinks a late release of the Copenhagen capsules will severely hurt their income. Well, so that's even another interesting thing to kind of keep in mind, that the Copenhagen sale didn't start before the major. It started during the major, which was very, very weird. And yes, teams definitely missed out on like a week or even more of revenue and sales. Now, obviously, most, and this is something we're going to talk about in a little bit as well, most of these sales do not come at the beginning. They come during the sale. Obviously, once things go on 75% off, that's when a lot of people are going to buy. That's when people are going to be most interested. That's when people are going to be able to buy in bigger quantities and stuff like that. But so this was obviously hasn't really made a ton of sense. We don't really know what these big numbers are going to be just yet. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. When asked to elaborate, he explained he could not, as they had signed a document indicating they would not share financial numbers upon submitting items to the workshop. However, he would expand on the context and explain that Paris values were absurdly higher than any other major and has warped people's minds. Copenhagen has been a return to the norm, and I'm sure a lot of people gambling on or hoping for a big payday are scratching their heads. So again, this is Amcall. New team to the major and stuff like that, and him talking about, hey, a lot of teams were just kind of spending a ton of money trying to make it to this major, trying to get the sticker money, and that's been even another criticism, and I've seen this posted, I think, somewhere on Twitter or Reddit or something like that, and I've talked about this before in tweets, that so much of the success or failure of teams right now is making it to the major and getting the sticker money. It matters much less what even happens at the major. Yeah, it's cool to win a major, have a deep run or whatever. But like, as far as orgs surviving or being able to stay alive or having success, making a major is more important than having a good performance at the major. Making a deep run or anything like that, getting that sticker money is way more important than finishing 5th or 8th or 7th or 3rd or anything like that. Obviously, winning at the end of the day is going to be remembered in the history books and all that stuff, but it's not going to matter if your team doesn't exist or if you didn't get that sticker money or whatever. So kind of interesting there. But yeah, Copenhagen has been a return to norm. I'm sure a lot of people hoping for big paydays are going to be scratching their head. The conversation around stickers in the major heated up in the lead up to Copenhagen when critics decried that simply making the major is more important than performing the biannual event. Again, definitely agree with that. However, making the major might look differently in the future, as Valve is rumored to be planning for a future without the RMR LAN qualifying event. So that would be very, very interesting as well. Again, yes, we don't know exactly what the sale numbers are going to be for Copenhagen or anything like that. Yes, starting the sale late definitely hurt teams' income, but again, we're going to be looking at most of those sales once the sale actually starts. We'll know more about that. Here's actually that Complexity general manager. The key part of all of this is that Paris was 4 to 7x most of the other post-COVID majors in terms of revenue. I'm sure you saw the quoted numbers. I don't think it's super healthy to be using Paris as a benchmark until we see some consistency at those kind of levels. The norm is still fantastic revenue for 24 teams and 120 players, and yes, I'm aware the price drop hasn't happened yet, and this is where significant, if not the majority of the overall sales will come from. But again, he's at least talking about that so far the pre-sale numbers do seem to be way down from what we saw for Paris, which is interesting to even see a guy talking about this. But investors definitely need to keep this stuff in mind, because obviously this is a big, big, big deal, showing us that yes, numbers for Copenhagen are, at least right now, are trending or tracking to be way below Paris. And this is something else I talked about. I have literally tweeted this out, and people there was a lot of people out there who didn't agree with me that there's no way Copenhagen is going to get to the numbers of Paris, because, again, so many things went right for Paris to have those huge numbers. We had a huge boom in investors. We had a huge boom in YouTube content, stuff like that, and people pumping this thing up. We also had a huge hype around CS2 at the exact same time that Paris was dropping. We had a record number of players. Again, right now in CS, there's less people investing, less people making content, less people playing the game. There's less hype around the game, and a bunch of people just got burned by Paris. Again, people who got burned by Paris are not buying Copenhagen stuff right now, or they're not as excited to be buying Copenhagen stuff. And I know so many people say, "Oh, that's just investors. Investors are such a small part of the community." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but investors are spending huge amounts of money. There's investors with 10, 20, 30 storage units of this stuff. Yes, investors are not the entire community or anything like that, but investors were buying Paris in huge numbers, and missing out on so much of that is obviously going to hurt sales. And that was obviously such a big part of Paris. It wasn't all genuine demand. It wasn't all natural and organic demand. And if it was, we would have seen those doing well as investments. We wouldn't see those kind of staying stagnant and plummeting. I did think Arco Digital's take on this was interesting as well. He said dispersion, the teams in the capsules are pretty lopsided. Legends capsule is very stacked compared to the Contenders capsule, even with Koi and Lin Vision. Paris burned, much like RMR in Stockholm. A lot of Paris investors just got burned pretty bad. And aesthetics, I think they're very cool stacks, and the stack system is really interesting, but as long as you're only allowed 5 stickers, making a stack takes up too much. You can only make 1 stack, then you have to make 3x of standard stickers, which aren't as cool and don't. So I think that's a very valid take as well. Also, at the end of the day, Copenhagen just doesn't look as good, which is good, is going to be bad for the investment, but the fact that numbers are way down is going to be good for the investment. The last thing you have to keep in mind here, especially when comparing Copenhagen to the other post-COVID major stuff like Antwerp and Stockholm, is with Paris we saw an unprecedented amount of time for the sale. The sale went on so long, and obviously that greatly inflated the numbers that we saw overall. So the question is going to be for Copenhagen, I think a big part of the question for Copenhagen of whether or not it's going to be a profitable or worthwhile investment is going to be how long that sale lasts. If that sale lasts 3 months, I think it's going to be tough. The numbers are going to get big. The numbers are going to get bigger than stuff like Stockholm and Antwerp for sure. But if the sale lasts a normal amount of time, like we saw previously, then yeah, Copenhagen could end up being very, very, very profitable. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this stuff. And hey, I wasn't super interested in Copenhagen at the beginning, especially when I saw these stickers come out. But I'm interested in anything that I think can make some money. So if Copenhagen numbers are trending down, and the sale doesn't last that long, maybe I'll end up throwing some money this way. But I'm going to be patient. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see what the numbers look like, and we'll go from there. So stick around on this channel to see more of that breakdown as the time comes. But first, we got to wait for that sale to happen, which, again, I don't think will be happening till late April or early May. We'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully, catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.